Assalamualaikum and greetings to Dr. Manim. This is the third assignment by me for this subject. This time around, I will discuss on three components of production costs and how they affect the cost management in the manufacturing industry. Production costs are very important as the cost of goods sold will rely on them. Without knowing the basic component, one entity could place a wrong price for a product or service and gain loss as opposed to benefit from their investment. Thus, it is important for a company to analyze production component. So, the three basic components for production costs are direct materials, labor, and overhead manufacturing costs. How these three components are interrelated? In a typical production facility, raw material moves from raw materials inventory to work in process (WIP). In here, the labor and overhead costs convert them into finished good inventory. Once the product in finished good inventory was sold, the cost was said to be cost of goods sold. Let us start discussing on first production cost of a typical manufacturing company. First one is material cost. What is it? It is the cost that were being used to purchase raw materials of product and can be easily traced. A materials listing or requisition form lists each of materials needed and unit cost by the manufacturing department. This form referred by the administration for purchase approval. Now, why is it important to have this listing? It does not only serve its purpose for tracing an order, but also as an act to compare these materials' price in the market. Comparing prices and choosing supplier can affect the quality of cost management. Quality cost is a cost incurred to a manufacturing company to ensure quality product and services. Quality cost management means a firm or company establish priorities in allocating their fund and pay for corrective action, identifying where to cut the cost and so on, so that misallocation of resources that resulted in poor return from investment can be reduced. This is the relation between direct material cost and how it affected management. Remember, the most important thing in quality cost management is to maximize profit as much as possible from any changes. Here I shared an example done by Lignobitech. Lignobitech's own brand, Tigris, have a variety of products, but one of its original is TMM Sclerotia capsule. This is TM Sclerotia for 60 capsules sold at RM148 a bottle. Meanwhile, this is a brand renewal which contains 60 capsules but sold at RM198. The only difference is in all TMM Sclerotia 60s contain 300 mg of Lignosus rhinoceros sclerotia powder in a capsule, while in latest one contain 420 mg of sclerotia powder in a capsule. Another important detail is the latest version use capsule tray instead of plastic bottle in the older version. While there is an increment of 40% in total weight of sclerotia powder in latest version, but the cost was backed up by lower price for packaging. In latest version, packed into plastic tray which costed less compared to plastic bottle used in older version. Another one is a little bit lengthy. Hope doctor can get my calculation comparisons. In older version, it contained 300 mg per capsule. So multiply by 60 capsules, one packaging contains 18,000 mg of powder. When 80,000 mg divided by its price, RM148, customer will obtain 121.62 mg powder per RM1, while in latest version contain 420 mg per capsule. So multiply by 60 capsules, one packaging contain 25,200 mg of powder. When 25,200 mg divided by its price RM198, customer obtain 127.27 mg powder per RM1. Latest version weight per RM1 when divided by old version weight per RM1, this is what we get. 127.27 divided by 121.62 equal to 1.046. 1.046 means the latest version weight per RM1 increased 1.046% compared to old version. Okay, let's keep that number aside. Now, when I divide the price of latest version with old version, RM198 divided by RM148, we will get 1.3378. This means the latest version price increased by 1.3378%. For an increased price above 1.34%, it is considerably a lot compared to increase of powder material of 1.046%. The income percentage is higher than raw material cost percentage. This is a lot of profit obtained and supported by changing packaging from plastic bottle to plastic tray. They cut costs a lot. This is an absolute win situation. You must be wondering why such decision. Innovator is undoubtedly one of the pioneers or maybe the only company that produced TMM mushroom and several other edible mushrooms in a controlled facility and successfully commercialized them in Malaysia. While there are other companies, but they were hardly recognized or discovered in Malaysia. Taking this into account, Ligno was deemed to monopoly edible mushroom products business in Malaysia. Customer segment have very little options to choose company, while some may concern about the safety of other company facilities, including processing method, which was not certified by any standards, especially halal certification, which is the most sought after specification of consumer product in Malaysia. Next, the direct labor cost. Labor cost as a basic knowledge of course includes the payroll of personnel in manufacturing department. Each personnel may have different rate based on their skill set, technicality, education certification and many others. But management for manufacturing department need to do quality costing related with labor cost to improve personnel involvement. A study case titled in Quality Cost Management in the Malaysian Manufacturing Industry by Zhe San Ong and Wu Heng Teck able to prove the correlation of incentives and involvement of personnel in quality cost measurement. Quality cost measurement was an act to elevate the surroundings and culture of a department to improve and serve at highest quality. There are many kinds of incentives form can be given to manufacturing personnel. Either they are allowances, bonus, appraisal form and many other. Incentives was something that the management had to think in order to ensure quality service. From my past experience, I was promised overtime payment and 3 months incentives based on this period. I'm not going to lie, I was very motivated, although all of this will never happen to me and other UKM interns at Lino. But I was happy that my efforts were recognized that saw my allowances for each month increase from RM500 to RM700. This kind of labor costs were very important to improve a company product quality, as they are proved to efficiently motivate production personnel in manufacturing department. Lastly, the overhead cost. What is it? Overhead was basically costs that did not directly incur to the manufacturing department or simply untraceable. Simple example, in the production line, there are machines involved in the making of product. Whenever there is problem required repair or service based on intervals, we call the technician from machine supplier. These are overhead costs because they are not in the manufacturing cost listing. But the question is how it affects the management. It is simple. A company may want to cut costs from these overhead costs and hopefully to produce quality product from excellent service from their own production worker. Using the same example, the downtime during production reduced by maintaining machine before manufacturing, and the company may opt to train their worker with technician to maintain the machine themselves at basic level. So, whenever machine problem occurred, they have trained production personnel that can solve the problem. This cut the cost to call technician to come over. And whenever they are called, workers were trained and exposed to problem solving by CEO's order, exactly portraying killing two birds with one stone. This happened to my internship at Lino. While a good example at UiTM Shah Alam, although we have no priorities in managing quality costs, but we practice keeping stationary bills like tape, marker, lighter, zip bag and aluminium foil. They are not permanent in unit and always rely on our demand during research. So, an invoice can be billed to Dr. Taufik to deduct research grant. And these things are bought only when needed to prevent misallocation of funds to serve good service. These habits can be practiced by every student in our group for their future working life. And that is all about direct materials, labor and overhead costs. All of them need to be put under microscope to ensure we as a manufacturing company pay smart and repair smart if any downtime occur. This is surely for a good return of investment. Also, from this discussion, a good communication is needed between departments like manufacturing and administration. Any lack of communication can be overcome by Quality Cost Measurement Act, like training with incentives to ensure communication become clear. That is all for this assignment. Thank you, Doctor.